Domination springs from impotence and in turn reinforces it.
Right.
For if an individual can force somebody else to serve him, his own need to be productive is increasingly paralyzed.
Right.
Unquote. Notice how this same idea could be applied to our strategies for love. See, remember, all these strategies to have love in our life came out of the need to get rid of this existential loneliness. So if we can get someone else to serve us, if we can get somebody to make us feel less alone and less anxious, to silence some of these insecurities about which weaknesses of ours our partner should be compensating for, then we can effectively not have to feel any of the negative feelings that might have otherwise got us to take action and do the work to improve ourselves. Fromm thinks the solution to all this is actually kind of ironic. We engage in this mutually beneficial transaction with another person to try to escape the feeling of being alone, when the solution to be able to actually love someone in a real capacity is to learn to be alone. See, whenever we fail, whenever a relationship ends, we often adjust our strategy for the future by saying, oh, well, this time I'm going to search even harder for the perfect person. This time I'm going to work even harder to become more lovable. We spend so much time doing this and so little time questioning the very foundations of how we see love in the first place. Like, where'd you get your ideas about what love is and how to find it anyway? Was it a YouTube video or something? Like, where do we get these deeply rooted ideas about it? And if it is something that's so important to us, why do we spend so little time really trying to understand it? Fromm says that one of the big mistaken ideas people have about love is that it's a thing. But he says love is not an object, it's a faculty. Which, put in other ways, to say that love is not a noun, love is a verb. Most people think their problem is not being loved enough. Their real problem is their ability to love. So knowing all this, here's how Fromm describes how he sees the faculty of love. Quote, love is a relatively rare phenomenon, and its place is taken by a number of forms of pseudo-love, end quote. Later he writes this, in reference to this idea that love is something that happens to you, or it's an emotion, or it's a noun in any sense. Quote, love is a passionate affirmation of an object. It is not an affect, but an active striving and interrelatedness, the aim of which is the happiness, growth, and freedom of its object.
Love is a sloppy kiss, a big bag of chips. Love is a goon bag under the bridge. Love is a trip in the mountains on your Triumph rocket. Love is when someone tells you they don't love you anymore. Yeah. Have a good one, folks.